Good morning, everybody. My name is Rod Van Blake. I am an author, and I'm joined with Jordan Pennell Jackson.
Hey everybody, I'm Jordan. I'm an artist and writer.
Today, we're doing fan fiction featuring Wednesday Addams. Fan fiction is a great tool, in my opinion, as a writer to kind of keep you in the game, so to speak. Perhaps you haven't fully fleshed out your own story and you want to play in someone else's playground, so to speak. You're part of a fandom, say Star Wars, Star Trek, the Addams Family, and you want to write something, but you don't have your own story to pull from yet, but you are very familiar with the lore and the legend of those characters and the worlds in which these characters were created. So you want to take a moment out and play in their playground and create your own story featuring one of the main characters, and that's what we're going to do today. I think it's a valuable tool to keep things going, to keep it fresh. I actually started writing with fan fiction, writing a short story that was Star Wars, and realizing quickly that I could never own that, so I had to come up with my own thing. But it was a good tool to figure out whether or not I could write something that was within the genre that I loved so much.
Sounds like it was a good test run.
It was a very good test run, and then I had to go about building my own. Perhaps you just want to see these characters do something you've never seen them do. Maybe it's a very common thing nowadays when you don't like the way certain storylines are going with characters.
I'm gonna write it my own way.
Yeah, you write your own. And so today we're doing a Wednesday Addams fan fiction. And so I'm going to start with the premise that I came up with, and then hopefully I'll be able to take some suggestions and we'll build upon that and layer it and see where the story goes. I like that better because if I make things up on my own, then I know where the story's going. I think it's a little more fun when you have collaboration and you don't necessarily know where things are going to go because you're not the only one supplying the ideas. So the story can either be really crazy or it could go along the same lines of what you've been having. So with Wednesday Addams, The Scarab and the Raven is what I'm like subtitling this story, trying to tie in the Raven because we're here at the Poe House in Baltimore and Poe and Comics. So what happens is Gomez and Morticia are off on vacation in Transylvania. They are incommunicado. And that leaves Pugsley, poor Pugsley, alone with Uncle Fester. And Pugsley goes missing. Uncle Fester, in a panic, goes to Wednesday while she's at school to let her know that her brother is missing. And we know they have kind of a weird relationship as brother and sister. Wednesday apparently has experimented on Pugsley either for punishment or for fun, just because that's what they do. You know, she's all about the macabre. She's fascinated with death and things of that nature. She's very morose. So now we got Uncle Fester coming to Wednesday, letting her know that Pugsley is missing. And there was a clue left that led them possibly to the Valley of Kings of Egypt. And now they're off on a trip to Egypt.
We're going to Egypt.
We're going to Egypt. What do you think should happen next? And anybody that's in the chat, if you want to give suggestions too, we'll add those and plug those into the story. Where are Pugsley and Wednesday? I mean, not Pugsley, where Uncle Fester and
where are they traveling?
Yeah, they go to the Valley of Kings. What happens there?
So they have. I feel like. Do we want to set it like nighttime or daytime? Do we want to have a transition?
We can have a transition. That's the cool thing about fan fiction too, is we're used to seeing Wednesday in the dark, like all the time. But what if we set it up so that they go to the Valley of Kings during the day and then stay around until the sun goes down, and then all of a sudden
some creatures come out.
Something happens and it changes the look to more of what we're used to, but at least initially we can see her in the daytime and in light.
I'm thinking that when they get to Egypt, they get into the Valley of the Kings, they may be like, I'm imagining them kind of like because it's like maybe let's do like maybe the sun is setting.
Okay.
We have like more cinematic scene.
Yeah.
And they are kind of like making their way to this tomb, or they're going through this pyramid. Maybe let's just do a pyramid or some type of structure
Okay.
that has some type of like that's be blood. There's gonna be blood somewhere. Gotta have another clue or something that pushes them forward.
They find a swatch of cloth that Wednesday recognizes from Pugsley's clothing. So they have to follow. So they sure know that at least, yeah, if he is black and white striped shirt. If he's not there for sure, they know he's at least he's been there. And they go further into the catacombs in the Valley of Kings and search for where Pugsley could have gone to and who. That's the other thing is who do we think took him? Who did it? Yeah, who done did it? Who took Pugsley and forced Wednesday on this crazy adventure? Any ideas? Chat, do y'all have any ideas?
Because I have. I'll let people in the chat go throw out anything.
Like uncles and aunts or something like that.
I mean, they're with the uncle right now. You talking about someone else, like cousin It or something?
There could be other Adamses.
Other Adamses. That's true. Leonard Adams. The brother,
whole new character.
yeah, the whole new character. So Leonard Adams is jealous of Gomez and Morticia, and out of revenge, have decided to kidnap poor Pugsley and torture him, and that that would make Wednesday very angry because like nobody can torture my brother but me. Yeah. So we have an estranged family member has taken Pugsley, and perhaps they recognize or see them coming and are trying to go about clandestinely sneaking Pugsley away before, as Uncle Fester and Wednesday are going into the entrance for these catacombs, and they send maybe their minions to attack. We have a little.
Oh, we have some. We gotta have
some minions, some goons, little fight scene to go. Have you watched the TV show?
I saw it first.
I know she's a fencer from the first episode.
Oh yeah.
So she can whoop a little tail on this.
What if she like picks up some type of like object, like staff or something?
That'd be cool.
Like some type of
artifact that's left in the catacombs and begins fighting with it.
Fighting the goons, she fights now.
And I guess Uncle Fester just putting the light bulb in his mouth to light the light bulb up.
to illuminate
the way through the catacombs. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Well, what kind of goons would they like? So we're saying it's Leonard Adams, right?
Yeah,
what kind of goons would they have? Are they have to be kind of spooky too, right? Or
do they have to be? Maybe that's why Leonard Adams is the pariah, because he's not into the death.
He could be really normal and straight laced.
He's an normie.
Yeah.
Yes. Leonard Adams
like
is
office working looking people working for him.
So does he like that? That makes me wonder. Like,
Hi,
with
Kathy.
his office money, who does he hire to like do his job?
Hey, Kathy, who is Leonard Adams' henchmen that are going after Wednesday Adams in this fan fiction as they search for Pugsley? See if we can get some answers to keep the thread going.
I'm thinking about a magical element to this.
Well, that may be where the scarab comes in.
We're gonna get there. I'm already there.
Yeah. While they're in the catacombs fighting off these minions, we haven't really defined what the minion. And keep in mind that this is just going to be within 45 minutes. You're not going to write an entire story, but this is just a framework and an exercise to get the thought process going of writing fan fiction. You can do this with any fandom you want that you have an affinity for, but particularly today we're working on Wednesday Adams because someone that was a part of this whole production was a fan of Wednesday Adams, and it is Wednesday.
It's fine.
You have any thoughts, Jen?
So with building out this story, are we going to keep the story in Egypt, or are they
No.
gonna follow the clue to another
Yeah.
location?
Ideally, we would have them follow the clue to another location and bring them either here to Baltimore or somewhere else that Edgar Allan Poe may have resided, maybe somewhere in Virginia. Maybe they find, because I know the school in Wednesday is named Nevermore Academy, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would be we could do it that it ends here at Westminster Hall. That would be like that would be cool. Maybe tie in some kind of Poe element.
Yeah.
So we know that they're starting in their hometown.
Mhm.
They're going to Egypt.
Yes.
Then are we having them go like typically in story building, is it like are there any rules with like do we want to do 2 or 3 stops or
Yeah,
Oh,
even
major scene.
yeah,
major scene?
major scenes, you can have as many stops as you want. You have them do kind of what you want, but it's kind of things to pull them along, to keep them going without it making seem really arbitrary. Like you want it to have purpose. So it's just not like some random thing like he's missing, Pugsley is missing. They find this. I get Uncle Fester comes with a scarab talisman or something, and that's the reason why they know that he's in Egypt. So they go to Egypt to follow that clue, and we have to have a reason to bring them back this way. Because Pugsley's not actually there. There are clues there that
No
Pugsley
point
is
in the location.
that
Next
Pugsley's been there, but then there's got to be a next stop, and that's all. It's just kind of a fun exercise of going from one place to another and bringing the characters through conflicts. And right now, it's just with the minions of Leonard Adams. Hilarious. We need to draw Leonard Adams now.
So
I
then
gotta
what
draw
kind of place do we think that Leonard might be hanging out, right? I think that would be an interesting thing to
Should
consider.
Leonard be at the next stop?
Quite
And just
possibly.
we have the minions here, so we kind of keep pulling
Yes.
that thread.
So here we go. The clothing that the minions wear are also a clue because, like we said, they're not like the regular Adams family. They're all like clean cut, yuppie normies. And so when they see the clothing of the minions that they're fighting, Wednesday will recognize something on them to give a clue to who could possibly be involved. Fester doesn't recognize it.
His coworkers.
His coworkers.
The henchmen are coworkers, and one of them has like a badge from the job, but they're gonna be dressed up like they're just like kind of like maybe I'm imagining like they're like overalls, suspenders.
Why
Oh.
overalls and
I don't
suspenders?
know, and like wearing like masks, something to conceal their identity. They don't want to be known who they are.
I
I'm
was
thinking about that.
I was thinking like European tailored suits, like
That also really nice.
you know, where they're kind of similar to what I was picturing was similar to like in the Matrix, how you know you have Agent Smith, that's his name, right? And so, but they're like these really clean cut European looking dudes, and maybe they have some kind of ring or something of a secret order that then she notices like, oh, wait, when I was fighting them, I saw the guy had, you know, the badge that I, you know, from
Maybe they're all in some secret order of the spirit.
love it.
Society.
Secret society. So, but
Could there be someone else who is following them? They want to find it as well. Yeah, that could be someone else is out on the trail. Someone else is on the Pugsley trail, or are they on the secret society of the Scarab trail? And they kind
why
of
did they
intersect.
take Pugsley? I think that answering that question makes the answer, or like makes a lot of this.
We already know why.
Okay,
Leonard is jealous
right.
and doesn't agree with the lifestyle of the Adamses. And so that's why he took
Right, and he
Pugsley.
knew the parents would be out of town. Okay, so
Uncle Fester's not the most responsible of babysitters, obviously.
so then to tie in, it's Kathy, right? I can't say.
Kathy, yes.
Yeah, to tie in Kathy's idea, what if it's like their the secret order has some kind of nemesis that's, you know,
Or
always
like an
trying to.
anti-organization.
Mhm.
Push it.
Yeah.
The anti-organization.
Yeah, see, yeah, this is why fan fiction is so fun because you can go in so many different directions and you're not tied down to obeying the rules of such creation.
Why don't we make a secret society a raven-based society versus Scarab?
Mm.
So
Okay.
And that's the title, right? The
Scarab and the Raven.
Scarab and the Raven.
Yeah, there you go.
So see,
Look at
look,
us.
it's coming together. So far we have, what do we have so far?
So far, we have Wednesday Adams and Gomez and Morticia are off on vacation in Transylvania for vacation, leaving Pugsley with Uncle Fester, and Pugsley goes missing. Oh yeah, maybe the former member of the Scarabs started this Raven Society as like a revenge tactic since he's no longer accepted.
And it would be cool for them to be like kind of the darker, like he's the edgiest of that secret order, so he kind of fits with the Adamses again, like it's coming full circle.
Okay, yes,
Right.
he's more Adams-like than,
Yeah, he's
than,
more,
than
and that's
Leonard.
why, exactly.
Adams is.
So that's why he picks like the Raven. Um, oh, he could be a huge Poe fan too.
Of course,
Yeah.
he's got to be a Poe fan. So what's the name of this, the head of the Raven Society? And I can't name him Poe because that'd be too.
No, that's too on the nose. I don't know, but we can come back to it, or
Like the League of Shadows. I think of League of Shadows. Think of the League of Shadows. What was the organization from Batman? Yeah, Court of Owls.
Court of Owls.
The Court of Ravens. We can make a plan.
ooh, I like that. The Court of Raven.
The Raven Collective,
Mm.
the Raven Syndicate.
Now I'm thinking about Scarabs. I'm
Trying to match it up.
trying to match it up.
The Raven
Former
Syndicate.
member of the Scare. Okay, so Kathy Evans gave us the idea that we have the leader of the Raven Society be a defector, and that's why they're trying to oppose them in this nabbing of Pugsley Adams.
So then it makes sense that during our action scene in Egypt, that maybe Wednesday is fencing these guys, and you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, and the secret order comes in and saves her, right? Or like breaks it up somehow. That can be how we introduce the Raven.
Yeah. Well, we could have them intervene, but we want to have. I'd have, if I was writing it, I'd have Wednesday do that. I would have them save her. I would have her maybe be in a tough spot, and then maybe they jump in, give her some respite, and then she's back on it, and she's
And ends up saving the day.
yeah doing
Yeah.
her thing and winning the day, and then that leads them to the Ravens where they find out that out of spite, I guess Leonard pegs Pugsley and left Egypt when he knew that they were coming, and decided, and they think they're going back too. Somehow we have to get them back here for whatever reason. What reason could we have them go? This former member of the Secret Order is now involved with Wednesday. They still don't have Pugsley, but they now know that they need to go back to the Baltimore area. What's that reason? What's that tangible?
Maybe he's baiting the Ravens back here somehow,
Yeah, there has to be some large set piece.
right?
I'm thinking of the idea of like Leonard using Pugsley as a sacrifice to some entity or force to gain some power,
Okay.
just to up the stakes and stuff.
Yeah, we can do that. But how can he do that if he just intervened on her behalf? He's against the Scarabs. He's not against.
No, I'm saying Pugsley being used as a tool.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Leonard's out for revenge, or maybe Leonard is actually like this could be more than like I'm upset that I'm being ostracized by the family, and more like I need to acquire something.
He's so offended that he's disliked for not being like the other Adamses, that he's actually becoming more like them when you think about it. Because now he's turning dark. He's actually
Like I'm sacrificing my own.
he's got his own family member kidnapped. He's taken them to Egypt, and now
What's his end game? I'm like, what is he trying to do to Pugsley? Right? Like, is he trying to enroll him in military school? Is he trying to turn him good? Is he trying to kill him, sacrifice him?
I think he's just trying to hurt Gomez, Morticia, Wednesday, and the rest of the family by taking one of their children.
I think it might be good to have it that he wants to indoctrinate him into his order.
Maybe he's making him he's trying to flash train him and make him normal. So he's trying to, I guess, torture the weirdness out of him.
Mhm.
There you go. He's not gonna kill Pugsley. He's gonna
He's not.
And you know, this is a family program.
yeah.
So that's the funny thing with all the darkness of the Addams family. There's not a lot of actual death or true violence. It's very interesting. They balance the macabre with um,
They do kind of skate that
they
line.
do, especially in the
have-
90s.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the whole time, right? The whole thing is very, it's suggestive of violence and of macabre things, but you don't really see them doing anything.
Because they were kind of whimsical all the time, even
Mhm.
though they were about death and being around cemeteries. But the thing is kind of creepy. The hand, the disembodied
Well,
hand.
that's the thing. We haven't even used him yet.
Yeah,
Um,
and I did it on purpose because we used to see a lot with him. Like,
Mhm.
even in the TV show, when Wednesday goes away, thing comes with her. So that was the only reason. And I don't think we really feature Fester all the time, even though he's got his own, cousin It we see a lot. Of course, Gomez and Morticia. But yeah. Got any more ideas, Kathy? Where we going with Pugsley and your former secret order member?
oh, we could have. I'm thinking about, you know, in the 90s Addams Family movie, how in that one it was Fester that was with that girl who was like a gold digger, right? Remember? And I'm wondering if somehow we can have it be that like she hooked up with the lead of one of these organizations or is one of these
Uncle Fester didn't take the bait, but Hunter did.
yeah, right? Like, you know, and then they weren't able to have kids or something, and they're jealous that they have this the son, and they take the son and they're trying to make him normal and use him as their poster child for their weird like conversion therapy crew or something.
Or normie family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna have a normal nuclear family.
Okay, so we haven't figured out how we're coming back this way yet, right?
Yeah, we're trying to manufacture a reason to bring them back because now we've got both of the groups there. We got both the Scarab Society and the Raven Syndicate there with Wednesday, but now Pugsley has been removed because when it was scared they were going to break in and find him. So I guess they're on his trail somehow. Maybe one of the minions gives up the info.
Okay.
And it could be that he asked Pugsley where I wanted to go, and Pugsley was like, "Well, you know, the Poe Fest is this week."
Hilarious.
Um,
We inadvertently make Pugsley the Poe fan that brings them to Baltimore. He wants to.
Go to the thing.
That would be funny and entertaining. Yeah, they end up coming, but he tells this to Leonard, or he tells this to one of the minions, because Leonard would have to actually execute that
Yeah,
and bring
exactly.
him.
That was Dominion song about.
Yeah, maybe that would be Wednesday kind of tortures the minion with her sword a little bit to give up the information on where do they go.
or maybe he's bringing him here for some other reason, and they end up like this ends up being where Pugsley and Wednesday meet, right? Like she finds a way to get whoever our mole is to sneak Pugsley away, and they end up here. But the reason that they're coming here should be something that fits with the motive of the syndicate or whatever. I mean, not the syndicate of Leonard, right? Like
Yeah.
that he's trying to take Pugsley and create this nuclear family, possibly, or create this, or at least de-Adams him.
D. Adams.
You know, he wants to take out some of that macabre. I'm wondering, like, there's so many, like, we could have him be sending him to school here, but he's hidden, right? He's still trying to.
Yeah, he can't be out in the open. He can't.
I'm like, what if he was like Leonard was a Mormon and they were taking him to the Mormon temple? I don't want to be offensive to anyone, but I'm like thinking of these big, beautiful buildings and things that are here in in this region, and why would we be coming all this way? And it's so interesting that we're going from somewhere like such important religious and and all that places in Egypt, right?
Mhm.
Then coming here, and it's like, well, do we want to keep with that like the secret society thing? It's like they could be Masons or like
I mean, the scared society. The scared society. They may have a building
right.
that they need to go.
So maybe they're going to their secret lair that we don't know exactly what it looks like, but they're taking him here to do the ritual, and we could even leave that really mysterious.
Yeah.
The ritual, and they just keep talking about the ritual. And what is that?
Yeah. Bugsy doesn't know because he doesn't seem too smart half the time. He's like,
You're
oh,
like,
that sounds fun.
We're going to this ritual. That's okay. So maybe that's why they're going. Leonard Adams is taking his family to experience a ritual.
Okay.
Because we still need to wrap. We still need to tie in the society. So I think that would work. So maybe they're going to this ritual. Might be here. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
They're going to the secret society ritual at Westminster.
At Westminster Hall, yeah. Here in this church,
Wow.
they're gonna
Go out in the
Adams
sense.
Pugsley.
They're gonna magic involved.
Kathy commented again, the former member is using them to get revenge or retribution. Local people may not help Wednesday with information. They fear the secret society. Okay, so yeah, the Raven Syndicate here is deep, obviously, because we're here in Baltimore, and they are reluctant to give any leads to Wednesday, who's outwardly asking for information as to the whereabouts of Leonard and the society thing going on here.
So I'm gonna imagine a Wednesday just walking around the city,
That would be hilarious.
looking for art, looking for like art, like just looking for like different
Signage.
and like artifacts on buildings and architecture,
Yeah.
and using that as like a way. And maybe if we also have the Raven Syndicate person there potentially guiding them.
Yes, he has
Well,
to, because
also
now
that could be the case. The Raven Syndicate person literally just
taking them
like
on
a
this
specific building.
guided tour to specific spots, but for whatever reason, having a hard time pinpointing exactly which place Leonard took Pugsley to.
Oh, so it's like I imagine like looking at a map. Pugsley could be at 3 of these locations.
We don't know which
But
one
we
it
just
is.
don't know. We gotta go to each one and try to find which one.
We can
So
have,
maybe they actually go to the Poe House.
Yeah.
Like go to the Poe House. I'm like, oh, it's not here. They go to like another structure. Place. The Bromo Shelter Tower, because that's just somewhere as well.
okay.
They go to the Bromo Shelter Tower, nothing's there. And then lastly, maybe we have like a nighttime scene. So now we're getting things
To get back to what the normal.
And then like maybe lightning is striking. We have leaves rustling across the ground when they get closer and closer to Westminster Hall.
The former member, Kathy says, the former member may pretend to be a brave informer guiding their path.
Oh,
what if they're guiding them? Maybe they're good. That's a good idea, Kathy. Perhaps they're purposefully leading them astray. Like they're taking them to all the wrong places that look on the outside as if they would lead into where this syndicate is, but it's not. It's just a facade.
Set them up for the trap.
They go to like the M&T field, the bank.
Mm-hmm. Oh, M&T Bank.
M&T Bank field. They're like, this is for the football team. Now there's a raven right there on the bench. Like, yeah, there's ravens all around it. The football team here. It's not the same thing.
And it would be interesting if they were actually after Wednesday, but they knew that it'd be easier to get
Pugsley. Yeah.
You know, like.
So this person that is a part of the Raven that's performing to be on their side, will actually be sacrificing, or not sacrificing, but we're actually out to get.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna get to that reveal.
Yeah.
When they get here at Westminster Hall and ritual.
Yeah, maybe they disturb the supposed ritual where Pugsley is here in the church, like tied up, lights and everything around. And it turns out that, yeah, Uncle Fester and Wednesday with this false guide, as Kathy has provided, shows up with them, and it turns out, yeah, they didn't want Pugsley at all. They wanted Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, they gotta have Raven masks, by the way. Black cloaks or purple cloaks.
Yeah, that'd be
Doing
Yeah,
like
Raven.
you know how they're doing the Black Cat Masquerade ball here this weekend? I'm like picturing, you know, even one of the scenes where they think that it's the right place and they see, look, they've got the Raven mask on, but it's really just somebody going for the
Gotcha.
masquerade.
It's a different.
that is a true Court of Owls moment there. 'cause I
That's
think
what I'm going.
Yeah,
That's what
Batman.
I'm going for.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly what I'm thinking.
Oh, and it could even be that they like something down in the catacombs, like see how this place is. Like, oh, we needed a lot of people here to
Yeah.
distract, but you got to go to the real ritual. You got to go down the stairs and go into
Oh,
Going to the
part.
crypts.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And there's like a scarab, you know, a certain spot that has like the scarab mark, and you have to be able to get in there.
Yeah.
I like those little signs in these kind of stories, right?
Maybe there's like a little.
What was Scarab and a Raven? What was the Raven?
Oh, so the Raven Society.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to like pinpoint now. Like, why is the Scarab? Like, we have to, because we do have to bring the Scarab back. Why would the Scarab be doing a ritual here in another secret society kind of hometown?
Oh, I don't think they are.
Oh.
The Scarab Society is Leonard's thing.
The way you say it's like he just made it up. He just made.
Maybe he did. Like
he
it
just
could be
made it
that
up.
he was an Eagle Scout or something, and just wanted to be able to continue his thing. He could be an archaeologist or something.
Or maybe he was into Egyptology, and for whatever reason, through learning and knowledge, excuse me, he picked up the Scarab and decided that became like his totem.
Can he be like? Can he be a brother from another mother?
What do you mean?
Like he's Leonard Adams, but he's a half black man.
Oh, he's
and-
Leonard.
Leonard.
That could be a whole thing where he'd be like, no, it's Leonard. Stop calling me Leonard."
Not Leonard, it's Leonard.
But that makes me think of like, you know, that would be an easy, but not easier, but it makes more sense to me on why he would be involved in something that is tied so heavily to Africa. Although he could be, you know, just a historian. Or something.
Okay.
I feel like we see a lot of that,
Yeah.
and I think it's more intriguing to see it be maybe something tied to him as a person.
Okay.
Leonard.
Leonard
Oh my
Adams.
gosh. So he's the one just walking, like he has like a scarab. Telling what scarab is.
Underneath his suit jacket. I mean, we already got him in this pristine
Exactly, that's what
European
I'm
suit,
saying.
so maybe he's got some
Oh,
some
some
bling
staff. Does he have like a
beneath it.
scarab staff?
cane.
Yes.
Cane with the
Cane.
yes.
Cane. I need a scarab cane.
So Leonard is like pimping. Like
Not exactly.
I
Not
feel
exactly.
like it's a fine line.
Goth, he's the goth pimp.
He's a god. So.
But he wants to be really straight and narrow, but it's in the blood. I don't know. It just creeps out.
Oh, I love it.
So now I'm like imagining him. I'm imagining him in this space, like sitting up in the rafters, like watching a ritual. Pugsley trying to create his own family.
Not even realizing that he's closer to the Adams than he really thinks, which he
Yeah.
ends up being like, yes. So then he like catches himself like, what am I doing? It's not normal. You can't-
All right, so we got that solved. All right, we got that worked out. So when they're going, so when Wednesday Upper Fester, this Raven person, this Raven person that will defect or defect from something, are they going to go underneath the building to another ritual, like to the actual ritual?
No, I think it's all a lure. It's a lure to get Wednesday.
Okay, so then we have.
Yeah, and we have to have another. That's pretty much how it has to probably end. It ends in battle, and then stopping, freeing Pugsley, getting him back, and then confronting Leonard, and then he, in the end, I guess, true to like Scooby Doo's plot, he like fesses up. Not that he fesses up. We already know that
Yeah,
he did it, but he gives them his reasons why.
And they could not. It could be that they knew it was the Scarab Society, but they didn't know it was,
him.
him until
Yeah.
the very, the last minute. Now, do we want to include the parents at all?
No.
Right. So,
That's
so
on vacation.
then it makes Fester the kind of our main here, like he's in the
Wednesday
rescue.
is the main. That's
Okay.
why he had to go to Wednesday. He didn't know what to do. That's why he was freaking out because the parents are
He's a
gone.
support.
Yeah,
Right.
he's a support character. Wednesday would be the main
Okay.
actor.
So
That's the
then-
protagonist.
How do we see that final resolution? Like, is he ever gonna get his hands on Wednesday? And then we have to like, are we gonna have that be kind of our main crescendo, like that? Oh no, he did get Wednesday.
No,
Or
I think the story would culminate in the twist when we find out that Pugsley wasn't the real target. It
okay.
was Wednesday, and then we can
The
have
guy-
this. Yeah, in the guide complex, and we can have this final conflict of them all kind of fighting.
Mhm.
Wednesday, Uncle Fester and the crew went out. Pugsley's freed. The minions are all beat up. They scatter and they corner Bernard, and he he like
Why
that.
you do
I'm
it?
so excited.
He has his, I would have got away with it. It was an pesky kids kind of moment. But yeah, then he fesses up that he wasn't really accepted. He was angry over the shade that everybody that he's in the family, but kind of not because he doesn't go along with their decor and everything. Yeah. So that'd be cool. This is all part of the exercise. That's why it's when you never know where it's going to go, what's going to pop in your head. And even when you're doing this by yourself, it can kind of be like a huge brainstorming session where you just kind of throwing ideas out, seeing what sticks, and then you take the best ideas of those, and then you build upon those, and then keep fleshing those ideas out until you hammer out a story that you like and really enjoy. Like any of you, I thank you all who were took the time out of your day to sit with us while we chatted through this fanfic story. The 4 or 5 of you all, Kathy, thank you so much for commenting and joining the discussion and giving us some ideas and some input as to how this story could go. Yeah, it's pretty much what you do when you kind of brainstorm, spitball, see what's best, and you take each piece that fits best, and you line them up, and then you get rid of the chaff, and you have the main story that you can run with, which is a lot of fun to do. Like I said, you can do a lot more, I think, with other people's work than you can with your own sometimes, because I think the saying goes, sometimes you have to kill your darlings. You don't want to do things to the characters that you own because they're close to you. Kathy says, this is what I love to do. Some of my ideas get used for my RPG games. That's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, you don't want to, you have to kill your darlings, and that because the story has to have some type of stakes. We kind of feel bad now because of Pugsley, maybe because of the age. Because I'm sure if Pugsley was adult and I'm writing, I have no qualms about offing Pugsley at that point. But because Pugsley's a minor, I'm like, and you even let him do like, let's not. We keep it family.
Well, and that's true to the style of the Addams Family, right? It's that line between being family entertainment and horror.
Yeah.
And
Because wasn't there the Munsters too around the
Yes.
same time?
Yes.
That had the same
they're
type of
very similar.
kind of like Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, and Grandpa was a vampire, and Eddie Munster. I just remember him with that
Similar
crazy ass
family.
widow's peak he had. Yeah, the mean widow's peak. Yeah, they had like a dragon in their under their steps that would like they'd open up this latch and they breathe fire in the house. It was crazy. But yeah, well, those were still kind of kids shows. So yeah, they were kind of the Addams Family, Munsters. They're all kind of horror adjacent without actually delving into actual horror. It's just the aesthetic.
Right. The other thing I wanted to ask you is like with fan fiction, do you think that it's a good tool to use when you might have like your own writer's block with your own characters.
Yes.
This might be something that could be a good exercise when you're not.
Yeah, especially if, like you said, writer's block and you feel stuck. I don't necessarily do fan fiction when I get stuck. I work on my outlines. And that may be just be coming up with a certain scene, a certain fight scene, or a certain traveling moment where the main characters are on some harrowing, like crazy long road and something dangerous has to happen. I think of those small moments and then I figure out where in the story I can fit this scene that I just came up with since I couldn't write that day. And then maybe that jogs my memory. You do the same thing with fan fiction. Say, let me play and write a short Star Trek fan fiction with my own character, but then I have them paired with one of the mainline characters from Star Trek and then see if that gets my juices going. And then I can come back to something that I have a full-on outline. So yeah, fan fiction can be a good tool to just get out of writer's block, get unstuck because you're not playing in your world, you're playing in someone else's, and maybe there's less apprehension because you're playing with somebody else's tools right now. So there's not as much pressure. It could be bad, it could be good. It doesn't really matter so long as you keep your brain and your writing functional, I guess. If that makes any sense.
Sometimes it's easier to outline, and outlining it's easier to kind of start from the lens of like thinking about just like what's going to happen in the scene. And once you kind of figure that out, it's easier for you to go like, okay, now I know what's happening. I can put a dialogue. Like what's your general thought process? Outline.
My outline, usually I have point A where we started, and then I have point Z at the end of the book where I want to end up. Now I have to decide all the things that are going to happen in between. So those like mini blocks in the outline where I kind of layer in other story beats and have to keep in mind where these characters are, what's happened previously. So yeah, the outline is just there as a tool. So I have a map and I'm not lost. It's like, where are we going? I know where we're going. I just may not know how, the minute details in between. So like with this, we started out, we knew that we were going to use Wednesday Addams. And I knew I was going to feature at least one or two other characters from the Addams Family movies and shows. So I wanted Pugsley to be involved. I wanted him because that's her brother. And I wanted to use Uncle Fester. I feel like we see a lot of Gomez and Morticia. There's the only reason why I didn't want to feature them because they get featured in everything. And then we had to create some characters. We had to create some.
Leonard.
Leonard. We had to create Leonard. Yeah, we had in these two secret societies that obviously were involved. Had to kind of bring these things together to tie it all together. So yeah, it's a lot of mental exercises when it comes to writing. When you're putting things together, you have to think about where you're going. Outlining is my biggest thing because without an outline, because this is what we were freeballing it here today. I wrote like a few things. I wrote a few things down, but the most of it, I wanted to go off the top of the head, and I wanted to get feedback. So, like again, thank you, Kathy, and you too. I wanted because that changes things. Like if you're making it up all by yourself, you're gonna know. But I had no idea that you guys were going to say what you said, and I had no idea that Kathy was going to suggest it be like a former, maybe a disgruntled former member of one secret society that started another secret society. So it kind of cascades into other ideas and it kind of builds on it. This was fun. You guys have anything else said before we sign off?
No, we'll see you.
Okay. Thank you again for coming to sit with us and talk through this fan fiction writing session. Thank you once again, Kathy, for giving us some wonderful comments and adding to the story thread. And thank you to Jordan and Jen for your participation as well. I guess we will see you all in a little bit. You have a workshop next?
Yeah, at 12:15, I'll be doing a chibi design of Wednesday Addams and Addams Family, and we will throw in Edgar Allan Poe as well.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
Good to go. All you artists out there, come back at 12:15 to get your chibi on. Talk to you soon. Goodbye, Kathy.